welcome to the channel. Today is a special day for all of us, I think, since I am pretty sure most of us started sailing on an Optimist. Hang on, we'll be right back. And most important, sail fast. Welcome back. So today we had scheduled an interview with Ivan Basilko, and he is or was the champion, the Optimist champion in 2019 in his home country of Ukraine. But he had some difficulties of schedule, so we will have to interview him, later on this year. But I didn't want to cancel the broadcast, and I wanted to take this opportunity to explore the Optimist as a boat and as an experience, and in a little bit of the championships that take place nationwide in the US and worldwide the championships. So let me do a quick introduction of Ivan. Ivan is an amazing kid. I met him on Facebook or Instagram. I'm not sure. He was posting his pictures of his sailing, right? And we ended up chatting a little bit. And he's an amazing guy. He actually has been featured in a couple of movies in his home country. His goal is to, on one side, be a sailing champion, in a larger boat as he grows up, but also to be an actor. So that sounds very exciting. And here are some of his the images that he shared with us. But obviously we would have to have another interview where we get some context of these images. But the pictures are great, right? I think we all remember sitting on that little bathtub and getting started in our sailing. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Who doesn't remember doing that, huh? That was great. That's great. Great images that he shared. I love this one too, sailing into the sunset. I'm so jealous. All right, so with that out of the way, since we don't have Ivan, let me move on to the improvised broadcast for today. Let me move some screens here out of the way. All right. So I wanted to do a quick overview of my time sailing the Optimist. I sailed the Optimist from September 1987 to about June or May 1988, and I wasn't very good. To the credit of the coaches, the kids that were there before me and the ones that arrived at the same time as me that year were really good. They were really good. I think that we had a fleet of, 12, 15 kids between the ages of 11 and 14. I was 13 at the time, and I was easily on the number 8 ranking consistently. So not very good, and that's when I pitched to our coach to let me move to the cadet, the small 2-crew boat for kids. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the freedom, right? The responsibility that a 13-year-old would have being on a boat in the ocean, on the sea by themselves. Although the coaches were nearby and you had a life vest and whatnot, and we had to know to swim, right? We had to be decent swimmers to be on the sport. But still, I think a lot of kids who start sailing this young should get credit for the courage that it takes to be out there by themselves. I remember some of the younger kids, boys and girls, who will cry, right, on their first few days, because it's scary. It's scary being out there by yourself, and and what if it goes wrong, right? What if you capsize? But that said, also parents who let their kids go sailing this young should also get some credit for trusting the coaches, for trusting their kids' desire to practice this sport, with the freedoms and the responsibilities that it brings. You are, for the most part, by yourself, although with close supervision. You are in the ocean, right? And there are waves, there's winds, there's wind change, there are currents. Sometimes there are dolphins, sometimes there are other right creatures. So it's exciting. There is a sense of freedom of being in the water, but it's also a big responsibility for the coach, for the athlete, for the parents, and a huge amount of courage that it takes for the parents and for the kids to engage in sailing at a young age. All right, that out of the way, I wanted to survey what is going on today in the Optimist world. So allow me to share the World Optimist page. And here we got news last year, as it was expected, that the Optimist World Championship was canceled. It was scheduled for, let's see, I believe it was June or July, and it was canceled, and rightly so. Oh, July, right there up front, July 14th, and it was canceled for 2020 due to the virus, and rightly so. For 2021, we got better news. The championship is expected to take place in Italy, in Riva del Garda, and someone please feel free to correct my pronunciation of the location. It will take place from June 30th to July 10th. And at this channel, we will be closely following this event. We find ourselves to be not only interested in interviewing prominent sailors, but also interviewing all those engaged in making the sport happen, such as sail makers, boat makers, which we have one interview scheduled for later this year, and prominent events, right? So there you go. We'd love to interview a few folks attending this world championship in June, July of this year. To tell you the truth, when I was an Optimist sailor, a young kid, I knew there were national championships, but I couldn't imagine there were world championships where kids my age would be competing with kids from all over the world, from with the best of the world. That would have been an overwhelming thought for sure. All right, and here's another page that I thought I'd share with you if you haven't been around to it, and it's the U.S. Optimist Association page. It's got beautiful pictures, and look at this. These are beautiful images. I plan to reach out to them later on this week and to see if we can interview coaches, current champions of the U.S. Nationals. See, smiles and friends guaranteed. That's for sure. That's for sure. To be honest, and this is more of a personal note, I've made two big chunks of friends in my lifetime. One group of friends I made sailing when I was 13 to 15, and the other big chunk of friends I made in college. But those friends I made as a young teenager, we're still friends today, good friends. And some of us are doing this channel together, so it's very exciting. And I wanted to close up with a little history of the Optimist. I don't recall as a young Optimist sailor having heard or read the story of the Optimist, just that it was flat up front, and it was designed for kids to learn how to sail. So I was reading earlier, and the Optimist was designed in 1947 by an American, Clark Mills, and it was designed in the Clearwater Optimist Club, where I'm sure it took some effort to get there as an engineer. And let's see. So the first boats were designed with plywood, and I think some of us who are old enough have seen those wooden Optimists that weigh a ton. They are very, very heavy. There's nothing sporty about them. Maybe there is something historical about them, and they're cute now. But as a sailor yourself, we all wanted the latest, lightest carbon fiber, not carbon fiber, but resin-made Optimists. Today, the Optimist is selling in over 120 countries. That is no surprise. So here's some details. If you can still see me, right? It's a crew of one. Yes. It's 5 inches in draft and 2.9. It's a monohull, of course. Fiberglass, yes. The hull should weigh about 77 pounds. I mean, I think a lot of us at the 11 to 13 years old age range, we weigh about that much. So it's scary. And the mast length is about 7 feet and 5 inches, or 2.26 meters. Okay. And here's a quick, cute sketch of it. This, although our interview was here. Oh, let's make it bigger. No, can't. So although our interview was canceled today with Ivan, I am still very excited to do this monologue today and talking about the Optimist. It's sort of a memory lane revisit, right, of my time sailing an Optimist myself. And as I mentioned on the headline of the video, most of us got started on these bathtubs, right, as we call them. And it's funny that we call them bathtubs in every country in the world that sells these boats. So if you have any comments, if you like the channel, please sign, subscribe, comment, make introductions, invite folks to the channel. We want to interview, like I said, anyone and everyone involved in the sport, from sail makers to boat makers, coaches. And we obviously want to interview champions, but we want to interview just local, regular folks, right? People who like the sport. We're interviewing someone from the UK in a few weeks who has been sailing all his life, right? And he took a break for a few years and then came back roaring, getting himself a fin, and now he sails regularly. And that's what we want to hear, right? We want to hear about the guys and girls who are passionate about sailing, because this is a sport, yes, but it's also a passion for most of us, right? So here we go. Sign, subscribe, like, and comment, and invite people to the channel. Thank you.